Hi Rajendra, good evening.
Hey, hi. Let me check if I change the name.
Rajendra, we might have some 4 to 5 or more classes for this CKA, right?
Sorry, come again.
No, no, I was asking how many classes we will be having for CKA actually. How many more classes?
So right now, whatever we are looking, it's a part of CK only.
Yeah, that's what. So how many more days? So just asking when.
Maybe next three weeks will be for CKA.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then after that, means in fact, actually more around 70% syllabus is overlapping between these two.
Okay.
So whatever the remaining 30% will cover at the end
Okay, okay, got
for
it.
CK.
Yeah.
So let's wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll start.
My goodness. Today also test is there, right?
Today also what you're saying?
No, that exam test assessment is there, right?
Yes. You guys received mail, right?
Just now, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think let's start. Okay. So I think people still are joining. So what we'll do, we'll continue with our topic and then in the mid time somewhere we'll do this assessment. Okay. Okay, so anybody has any doubt on the demo set, what we have seen yesterday? No doubt.
From my side, actually, I will go through the recording on this weekend, and I will let you know, because yesterday there was some network issue for me, so I was not able to cover much.
Okay, okay, okay. Anybody else has having any issue? Any doubt? Any query? Okay, fine. So today let's start with a new topic. Okay. So basically what all the topics that we have seen in the scheduling part is node affinity, pod affinity, anti affinity. Before this, we have seen node selector. Okay. Then resource request and limits, and then daemon set. Okay. So basically out of this 4 to 5 topics, for sure either you will get one question or two question. Okay, because this particular topic is for 5%. Okay, so either you will get one question for 2 marks and one question for 3 marks, or you will get a one question for 5 mark itself. Okay, so now let's start with the namespaces. Let me create one directory, namespace. Okay, so what is namespace? Namespace is something like a we create a namespace for isolating number of pods separately. Okay, so that we don't have any name clashes. Okay, or we are creating something like a virtual cluster inside the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so then now we are going to see what are the default namespaces which are already there, and then how we can create the namespaces, how we can view that namespace, how we can create different resources inside that namespace. Okay, then how we can switch from one namespace to another namespace. Okay, so let's go back to the terminal. Okay, so by default, if you see kubectl get nodes. Okay, just a minute, let me change the user. Kubectl get nodes. Okay, let me set the allies get nodes. Okay, so all the nodes are okay, perfectly running. So how to see what all the namespaces are there? We have a command kubectl get namespaces. Okay, for namespaces the short name is ns. Okay, so how you can see the short names? We have a command kubectl api resources. Okay, here you will see that what all the objects are available inside the Kubernetes. Okay, and what is the short name for each and every object. Okay, there are some objects, some resources which don't have the short name, but whatever the short names are available that we can see with this command. Okay, then one more important thing is namespace. Okay, namespace means show the resources which are comes under any of the namespace, right? If you want to see, if you want to see what all the resources which are not coming under any namespace, how you can see that? Kubectl api resources, we have one flag hyphen hyphen namespace is equal to false. Okay, so when you do namespace is equal to false, you can see that these are the resources which are not coming under the any of the namespace. Means we don't need to define the namespace for all these objects. Okay, like namespace itself is not coming under any namespace, the nodes are not coming inside any namespace, persistent volumes are not coming any inside any namespaces. Okay, so these are some, if you just read out, these are the some namespace resources of Kubernetes which are not coming inside any namespace. Okay. And if you want to see all the resources which are coming inside namespaces, that you can see, how you can see namespace is equal to true flag. Okay. Now you can see that this binding, config map, endpoint, event, limit ranges, pod templates, all this comes under any of the namespace. Okay. So how to see the namespace? kubectl get namespaces. Okay. Short name is ns. Okay. So here you can see that there are already 5 namespaces. Default namespaces are there, and the names are, the default name is there, kube node lease is there, kube public is there, kube system is there, and local path storage is there. Okay. So kube system is the namespace which we use to have all the resources, system resources inside it. Okay. And then this default namespace is the default namespace where we work. Okay. And then this public namespace is just by default created if you want to create any public resources. Okay. Okay, so now what we'll see, how to create a namespace. Okay, so if you want to see, there are 2 ways to create a namespace. Either you can create it directly, or you can create using the YAML file. Okay, so how to create directly? We have a command kubectl create namespace my namespace. Okay, I'll give as a my ns as the name. Okay, so now if I run it, you can see that namespace my ns created. Okay, now if you just go back and get namespace, you can see that my ns namespace got created. Okay, and if you want to, without creating, if you want to just create the YAML file, how you can create? kubectl create namespace my ns1. Okay, hyphen dry run is equal to client, then -o YAML my ns1 dot YAML. Okay, that's it. You can see that this my ns got created. So if you see API version v1, kind is namespace. Okay, metadata. So these are the some default field that we require. Okay, so with this dry run, this is how YAML gets created. Okay, now once YAML gets created, okay, once the YAML is ready, what you will need to do is just kubectl apply -f -.1. That's it. Now namespace got created. If you see kubectl get ns, you can see that there are 2 namespaces got created, my ns and my ns1. Clear? Anybody has any doubt how to create these namespaces?
No, Rajendra, okay.
Okay. Now, if you see, now namespace got created. Now let's say I want to create the resources inside it. Okay. So how you can do that? So first what we need to do is, okay, just a minute. Huh? Hello, Bindu. Okay, so now let's create a resource, okay, inside this particular namespaces. So how you can create is, first let's create an empty namespace, sorry, empty pod. Okay, let me use any old run command. So what I'll do, kubectl run ns pod, I'll give the name image engine X, and then pod name as well, ns pod. Okay, that's it. If I go inside ns pod, here you can see that there is no namespace assigned here, right, by default. Okay, so what I can do is, where we need to provide this namespace, inside metadata we have a namespace field. Okay, So how you can see that? kubectl explain po dot spec, not spec, po dot metadata. Okay, so here you can see that inside metadata we can have a lot of information, but the attribute that is of our interest is namespace. Okay, so namespace defines the space within each name must be unique. Okay, an empty canonical representation. Okay, so how you can define inside YAML file? Just go there inside metadata, add the namespace name. Okay, namespace colon. Now what is the namespace name is my ns. Okay, that's it. So now what will happen, this particular pod will be created inside the namespace my ns. Okay, so now just save the file, then kubectl apply -f your ns pod. Okay, so let me run it. You can see that pod ns pod got created. But now if I do kubectl get po, you can see that ns pod is not here. Okay, why it is not here? Because the namespace, okay, the current namespace that we are in is default namespace. Okay, so we created that inside the my ns namespace. Okay, so how you can see the pods from all the namespace is kubectl get po, there is a flag called all namespaces. Okay, so now if I run it, you can see that all the pods are here from all the namespaces. Okay, but now instead of all namespaces, what namespace I want to see is my ns. Okay, my ns namespace. Now if I get it, you can see that there is one pod, ns pod, which is running inside the namespace my ns. Okay, clear how you can do this, how to create a pod inside specific namespace? Anybody has any doubt here? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
Rajendra.
yes, Rajendra. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so can you just try this creating namespace and then creating a pod inside that particular namespace?
Yeah, sure, sure.
If anybody didn't understand how to do this, let me know. I'll repeat once again.
Hi Rajendra, this is Anish. I joined late, just few minutes ago. I didn't. Can you repeat? What's happening right now?
Okay, okay. So we started with a namespace. Okay,
Okay,
how to create a namespace. So first of all, if you want to see the all the namespaces, what we can do, kubectl get namespaces. Okay, so this ns is the short name to get the namespace. Okay, so here
okay,
you can see that by default these many namespaces are there: default, kube node list, kube public, kube system, and local path storage. Okay, so out of this, default is nothing but the current namespace we have named default. Okay, then there is a kube system. Kube system namespace is the, so what is namespace? Namespace is just a virtual cluster, we can say virtual cluster inside a Kubernetes cluster. So this kube system namespace that we have created to create all the system related pods. Okay, and then
okay,
this default is the one we can use to create any pod which will be created in the default namespace. Okay, so now how to create an our own namespace is, we have a command called kubectl create. Okay, so using kubectl create command, we can create the namespace. So how I am creating? Kubectl create namespace. This is the object name ns, and then this is your actual namespace name. Okay, so when you run this command, this namespace will be created my ns. Okay, now namespace got created, you want to create a resources inside it. Okay, so for that what we can do is, with the help of simply dry run, we can create a pod file. Okay, with the help of kubectl run command, I am creating this nspod.yaml. So if you go inside nspod.yaml, by default, you won't see this particular field, namespace colon -. Okay. Then
Okay.
if you want to create this particular pod inside some specific namespace, if you don't provide this namespace colon -, then by default, this particular pod will be created inside the default namespace. Okay. But if you want your namespace to be created in some specific inside specific namespace, in that case, you can add this namespace colon namespace name here. Okay. So how to see uh, where this particular namespace attribute is there? It's inside a metadata. So what you can do, kubectl explain pod dot metadata. If you do, you'll see that namespace attribute listed there. Okay. Then we
Okay.
just have to open this YAML file, go inside metadata field, add this namespaces colon namespace name, and then once that is done, we can just apply this. Okay, apply this file nspod.yaml, and then it will create a pod inside the my ns namespace. So how you can see that? So we have a command kubectl get po, and if you want to get the pod from specific namespace, then we need to give the -n -, or the namespace name as the option. Okay. So now if I run this, you can see that there is one pod called ns pod which is running. Okay, inside the -, namespace. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rajendra, when I'm trying to create with dry run, right? So my YAML file doesn't have any entry.
Yes, namespace entry, right?
Yeah, no, not namespace. So it doesn't have any value.
Yeah, namespace entry won't be there. Then what you have to do, then open that YAML file and then add that namespace entry inside metadata.
No, what I'm saying, right? So it's empty file. It doesn't have any value.
Okay, it should have any. Are you missing anything while creating this run? This can you see this command here? Are you
Uh,
missing anything there?
no, before this one, we have to create namespace, right? I mean, the dry
Yes.
run for namespace. So
Yes.
that didn't. I mean that created a YAML file, but it doesn't have any entry.
Okay. Okay. So what is the command that you are doing? Let me just write it here. kubectl create.
I'll just paste it.
Okay. Okay. You pasted in the chat. Let me have a look.
Rajendra, on the different topic, what is main? I mean, sometimes we are using apply, sometimes we are using create, right? So we decide which to use.
Okay, this create is just a short automatic command to create an object. Okay, and this apply is we already created object. We just want to apply that in the cluster. Okay.
Okay.
So
Create.
I'll repeat that difference once again. So let me have a
Okay.
look just this Vikas command. kubectl create ns -1 -- prior and is equal to client -o_yaml -1.yaml. I don't see anything wrong with the command. Let me put this command again here.
Rajendra, it
It
should be
is
K.
creating Vikas. Can you see on my screen?
Yeah, for you it's creating, but for me somehow I'm not able to do that.
Can you check if your cluster is running well?
Yeah, sure.
Because I just copied your same command and it's working fine. Yeah, Abhilash, you are asking something.
Hi Rajendra. I mean, it should be K create or K run, because K run and
Okay. So both this command can be used. Okay, for some object we can use the run command. For some means only for creating pod we need to use the run command. Okay, otherwise if you want to create a job deployment or this namespace or service account or any config map, in that case we need to use the create command. Okay, so only for pod creation we need to use the run command, because run command is a multi-purpose command, right? If we don't use the dry run option, in that case it will create YAML as well as it will run that particular object. Okay, but and in case of create as well, in case of a create command as well, if you don't give the dry run, it will create the object as means it will create the YAML and send that YAML to API server as well. Okay, but if you give the dry run with that, in that case it will not send that to the server. It will just create the YAML and it will exit. Okay, so if you want to just differentiate, use kubectl run command only when you want to create a pod or a generate YAML of a pod. Okay, but if you want to generate a YAML of deployment, service account, config map, okay, in all those cases you can use the create command. Okay,
Not sure why Rajendra, my system I am not getting ports and all created.
okay,
Let
pods
me,
are not getting
yeah,
created with
I am not able to delete as well actually. Let me check.
can you share the screen quickly?
Yeah, sure. Give me a minute. Let me do something. Okay. Give me a minute, Rajendra. I will share it.
Okay, no problem.
Which situation we can go and create a namespace, Rajendra?
Sorry.
Which situation we can go and create namespace in the cluster? Because I can use default in all the time, right?
Yeah, you can always use the default one, but let's say now you are creating a lot of pods and those pods will be used by let's say development team. So in that case what you can do, instead of using default one, to have a proper naming so that you can quickly identify what all the pods are created for development, what you can do is first create the development namespace, and then whatever the pods which are related to the development, you can put all those pod inside that particular development namespace. Okay, now let's say you are want to create a pod for testing purpose, then create a testing namespace and then add all the pod inside that testing namespace. Okay,
Okay. Is it possible to provide access to namespace level? Only can able to view that namespace, or they can able to view all the namespaces?
yes, we have a option that we there is one component called cluster role. Okay,
Okay.
cluster role and cluster binding, through which we can restrict the access for particular user. Okay, to get that this particular namespace access, or inside that particular namespace you can just do the get command, list of API resources command. Okay, so that we are going to see when we are going to create this API, sorry, cluster roles and cluster bindings. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajendra, actually, I just shared the screen, and this is
okay.
the issue. Actually, one thing, this container creating, these got deleted actually, but this pod in terminate, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah. So this one, I'm facing this issue actually.
Okay. Do Control C and do kubectl get nodes.
Yeah.
Nodes.
Nodes.
Yeah, your one node is in not ready state. Why it is so? Do free -h. Do free -h.
Okay.
Free 5.7. That's fine, I think. Why this kind worker? Okay, got it. Your problem. Do one thing. Do kubectl describe node kind worker. Grep for tent. Yeah, and now remove this tent. No execute tent.
Okay.
Because due to that reason, your DNS pod is not running, and due to that reason, this your node is getting unreachable.
Okay.
So sometimes in the exam you will get a question something like this as well. Okay.
Okay.
So this type of question will come under troubleshooting part. Okay. So
Okay.
what they will do is they will do something like this. Wrong thing they will do like they will add some tent, and due to that reason your one of the pod is going into the pending state. Okay. Or what they will do is while configuring any service they will give some wrong port. Okay. So something this type of wrong configuration they will do, and now they will ask you to troubleshoot this and make that working. Okay. So in that case, you need to first understand the concept, like why this is happening, what could be the reason due to that this type of problem we may get. Okay. So if you
Okay.
understood that, then solving that problem is just what you need to do is you need to just go and edit that YAML and modify that port number, or if there is a tent, just remove that tent. Okay. So just solving that is easy, but to understand that first, it is very important. Okay. So
Okay.
you need to know all these small concept, and you'll get at least one question in that troubleshooting part, something like this. Okay.
Uh, but I'm sharing it again. So this way we can remove the taints, right?
Can you just scroll a little bit up?
Okay.
Yeah, and now do this. Okay, so here what you are doing is we just need to give the key. Okay, and no need to give the effect. So just same command, just after colon, don't give anything, just give hyphen. Yeah, hi. Yeah, now you can see that tent got removed. Now if you do kubectl get nodes, your node will be in a ready state. And use alias, no need to type kubectl.
Yeah, I have that alias, but the thing is like I just want to because whenever I'm saying it comes like K, so I just want to make sure kubectl is
Okay,
coming in.
that's
That's
fine,
it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Run again. It should be in a ready state now.
No, it's not actually.
Okay, do one thing. Kubectl get pods hyphen n kube system, so that we'll see is there anything wrong happening.
Hyphen and then what?
Kube system, because what all the system ports we need to see from the kube system namespace. Okay, so now here you can see that there is a one cure DNS is getting terminated. Okay, and now another instance got started. So now you should see your pod should be in a ready state. Node should be in a ready state. Do once. Okay, still it is not ready. Do one thing. delete that code in first one pod.
Okay.
kubectl delete po. No, you need to give the namespace because that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, -n cube system.
Okay.
Yeah, now that pod is deleted, so it will create new one.
It is stuck in this delete. Not sure with me.
Should be able to delete now.
That's when if all others are fine and done, you can carry on. No issues.
Okay.
Don't spend time for me only. Yeah.
Okay, so anybody else is facing any issue while creating
Yes, Rajendra.
namespace?
So shall I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so when I'm running this command, right? So it's giving me error and it's not doing anything. Though it's created here a file, but when I'm doing this one, right, it doesn't have any entry.
Okay, let me just see what is this. Try run is equal to client. No, I don't see anything wrong. What is the error that is showing?
So it says error invalid argument, client dry run, this one.
Client invalid syntax.
syntax.
See, you are using a kind only, right? Or
Yeah, I am using kind only.
okay, do one thing. Do kubectl get nodes. Okay, all are fine. Then do kubectl get ns. Okay, your ns got created. Now do kubectl.
So this my ns I created with the just simple command
Okay.
kubectl create my
Yes.
ns. Yeah.
Now do this kubectl create ns. Give some other name. Okay, space hyphen dry run. Spelling. DRY.
Oh.
Equal to client space hyphen o YAML and redirect to the file.
-2 dot. This is the one, right?
Okay, interesting what it is saying.
So is this dependent on other days practical? Because this one I created yesterday, only this cluster on my local laptop, and I'm trying to do all practice here.
No, it has nothing to do with anything else because your cluster is running. Because the same command we are also using, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Do dry run is equal to false. Sorry, dry run is equal to true. Instead of client, do dry run is equal to true. Now check this -2.
Oh yeah, I can see now.
Okay. So let me check what is the version I have. Okay, it's 1.18.2. Okay, so might be you pulled it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so might be they have updated the image that we are using to start the kind, and in that particular image they have changed this dry run flag from client to the true or false. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here what you, instead of dry run is equal to client, what you can do dry run is equal to true, so it will work like a same dry run is equal to client. Okay.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you do
Thank
dry
you.
run is equal to false, that means by default it's a false. So we don't need to even give the dry run is equal to false. Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else
Rajendra,
is facing an issue?
actually, I just checked that node in that describe. And I will share it one more time. After this, I
Okay.
won't do. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah, yeah, fine, fine. Because this is how, if you guys get the problems, then this is how you will all will learn. Okay.
Yeah, I can
Otherwise, if
see
you don't
this thing.
get any doubt, and then the runtime, you'll get those doubt, and then you don't know how to solve it. Okay. Okay, so node status unknown, kubelet stop posting node status. Okay.
Chains also is there here. Might be it's automatically setting. Not
Okay,
sure.
so your this core
Kubelet.
DNS got deleted, that
No,
pod got
no,
deleted.
that's not getting deleted. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
but that should not affect the node, right?
No, what was happening? This DNS is the service which will take care of interaction, giving the service discovery mechanism where it will help kubelet that where is this node, okay, what is the IP, what
Okay,
is the all the configuration of that node. Okay,
okay, okay,
so if that pod itself gets terminated, then the interaction between the nodes will be lost.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So, is there any way we can forcefully terminate something like that?
No, now what is happening, this pod, this core, if you do hyphen o wide, same command, do hyphen o wide.
Okay.
Okay, so here if you see, that particular pod is running on the kind worker node. Okay,
Yeah.
but your kind worker node is itself is unreachable,
Yeah.
right? So now your API server is trying to give the command like delete this particular pod to kind worker, but your kind worker is not running, so that pod is not the command to delete that pod is not reaching to that particular node.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
But ideally still it should, when you are terminating start terminating, the scheduler should create a new one, new core DNS. Okay, okay, do one thing, do kubectl get deployment hyphen n kube system.
If-
Just give, you can give the deploy short name deploy. Yeah, yeah, so core DNS is running here. So what you can do one thing, kubectl edit deploy core DNS. Yeah, hyphen n kube system.
Oh, sorry, sorry,
Don't
sorry.
forget that. Yeah. And this mistake will happen in the exam as well. Okay, so there
Okay.
as
Okay.
well you need to very much you have to make sure that you are giving the right namespace every time.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
down, go down. Go down, 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 down. Yeah, wait. Yeah, go down. Yeah, here replicas, instead of 2, make it 3.
Three, right?
Yeah, and try to save it. Let's see whether it's allowing or not. Yes, it got edited. Now do kubectl edit. No, yeah, now do get deploy. Now third DNS got started. Okay, so now do get pods. Okay, now the third instance got started, but again that is started if you see on kind worker 2 itself, 2 instances started on kind worker 2. Okay, what is the way then? Do one more thing. Do kubectl get nodes?
Okay.
Okay, then I think you need to just quickly delete the cluster and start.
Okay. 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 I will do
Because
it.
your node
Carry
is
on, Rajendra.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, fine, guys. Are you done with the creating namespace?
Rajendra, I have a facing problem. I created a namespace, but when I'm trying to deploy the MySQL image, I'm getting error. Can I
Okay.
share my screen also to check
Yes,
out?
yes, yes, yes. No.
Okay, this is the error I am getting right now. When I done the trying to do the apply.
So what it is saying? Pulling image MySQL1 backup restart failure. Successfully pulled image. Okay, so image is pulled.
Created the container in my NS.
Okay, so the now problem here is we need to first see is there any other requirement when you are starting the MySQL container. Okay,
Okay.
because sometimes what happens if you are starting any container, any image, sometimes those container expecting some environment variable. Okay, so what I suspect is in case of a MySQL, it is expecting some more details like what is the host name, what is the username, what is the password for this MySQL to connect. Okay, so how this you will get all this information is you need to go onto the Docker Hub where all the public images are available. So this MySQL image will also be there. And then in that, you'll see there are a lot of information, build information, tag information, description information. And there you'll see that what is the exact requirement for this particular image to be used. Okay. And in
Okay.
that case, accordingly, you can add all this information in the pod definition. Okay.
Okay. Let me. Okay.
What should be the cluster name, Rajendra? Kind delete. Some cluster name we need to give, right?
Yeah, yeah, and just kind delete cluster.
Okay. So I think the additional argument was the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Kind delete cluster. Right now you must be having only one cluster that is kind. If you have multiple cluster, then what you
Thank you,
can do is
Rajendra.
kind hyphen name and the cluster name. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Rajendra. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So any other doubt, guys? So anybody who didn't is facing problem while creating namespace or creating a resources inside it? Okay, so no doubt, let me just share the screen once again. Okay, so someone, I think because I think you shared something, right? I think you shared your
Yeah, so
error,
so
right?
that was the
Old one. Okay, okay, got
yep.
it. Yes. Okay, so now -n my ns. Okay, so this is how you can create resources inside a specific namespace. Okay, then how to see those resources is every time you need to give the -n that namespace name. Okay, so now whatever the functionality or whatever the pod for those functionality I want to create, I can simply put all the pods which are part of this particular myNS namespace. Okay, so you can give some proper names as well. Let's say like development, production, testing, staging, Okay, so all this namespace you can create, and then number of pods you can put inside this that particular namespace. Okay, so that will help us to separating out or the creating a virtual cluster where we are putting all the namespace, all the pods of that particular namespace. Okay, so clear about namespace. Anybody has any doubt here? Okay, fine then. Now what we'll do, we'll see test first. Okay. Otherwise, let's do one thing. We'll take the test. Okay, but again for result we need to wait for some time. Okay, so better let's start with the test. Okay. So I hope everybody received the mail for assessment. Anybody who didn't receive? Guys, anybody who didn't receive the mail for today's assessment?
Received, Rajendra. I'm going to check it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So open, everybody, please open that mail, okay, and start the test. It will contain 10 questions.
Rajendra, one clarification. So what is the option to comment a particular line in a YAML file? Is it hash or is it something else?
Yes, yes, hash.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Rajendra completed the assessment.
Okay, great. Everybody's done with assessment?
No, Rajendra, give some 2 more
Okay,
minutes.
fine.
Yeah, I'm also done. Yeah.
Okay. All done, guys?
Not yet, Rajendra. 2 more minutes.
Okay.
In the meantime, Rajendra, I just tried to create new cluster using pseudo-kind create cluster. But the thing is, while trying to get node, I am getting only that kind control plane. Only that. No nodes are
I
there.
think you didn't provided the config file.
Might be. Yeah. Let me check. Yeah, you were right. I'm giving the config file now. Sorry.
Okay. So first you need to delete that and then.
Yeah, I deleted it again. Yeah. Thanks, Rajendra.
Okay.
I'm also done, Rajendra.
Okay, so anybody who left, can we start with the next topic then? Okay, fine, I think.
Yeah, sure. We can. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
the next topic that we are going to start is the services. Okay. So the next topic that we are starting is the services. So what is the need of service? So service is the virtual component. Okay. Like what is the need of service is, let's say you created a pod. Okay. Now inside pod there is one application is running. Okay. Now we know that this all the pods whatever we are creating are stateless, right? That means that pod can be terminated, and next time there is no guarantee that that pod will be started on that same node. Okay, that might get started on another node. Okay, so now if any other service, microservice which is running in some other pod, which accessing this particular pod, okay, then how it will be able to access that pod, because node details or the IP that that particular pod got will be renewed, means it will get some different IP, it will get some different node, right? So now to avoid all this problem, right? So what we do, we have a service discovery mechanism. Okay, service discovery mechanism means there is a someone who is always taking care of all this updated information, right? Means this, let's say pod 1 is running on node 1, and due to some reason that pod got killed and now it started on the node 2. Okay, so whatever this change happened, okay, so this change happened is monitored by one component called service discovery component, and then whoever wants to access that pod, if there is any change happen, that particular component will be updated. Okay, that particular component updated by this service discovery mechanism. Okay, so this service, okay, service is a component. Okay, service discovery is a mechanism, and service is one component which is helping that service discovery mechanism to find that pod where it is running. Okay, so basically how these services are helping our pod, that there are basically different use cases, like whether my pod or my application will be accessed only inside the cluster, or it is going to be accessed by outside the cluster, means any external world. Okay, so depending on that there are different types of the services. Okay, so basically there are three main types of the services. Okay, so the first and the default type of service is a cluster IP. Okay, so cluster IP services means if you want your application to be accessed only inside the cluster, Kubernetes cluster, in that case you can expose your pod, okay, expose your application as a cluster IP service. So cluster, with the help of cluster IP service, your application will be available inside the cluster only. Okay, now if you want your application to be exposed outside the world, okay, that means anybody having the IP of your service wants to access your application, in that case you need to expose your service, expose your application as a NodePort service. Okay, and then there is a third one, load balancer. Okay, so if you want to expose your application to the external world, load balancer is the right choice to through which you can expose your application. But again, if you want to expose your application as a load balancer, you need to have a third party load balancer. Okay, and then if you use any third party load balancer, you need to have a static IP which is a public one. Okay, and if you are going to use that public IP, then you need to take that from the service provider. Okay, and then you'll get a cost along with it. Okay, so these are the three ways to expose your application. And then there is one more, ingress controller, which is mostly used with the services. What is the use of that? we'll talk about it mostly. Let's say if you have deployed any application and then on that particular application or a website, you have a different services. Let's say video services there, data services there, or any multicast services there. So if you want to forward the traffic on the basis of different paths, let's say slash videos request will be go to the XYZ service, slash data services will be request will be go to the Y application. Okay, so something like this. If you want to do the forwarding, then this ingress component, we call it as a ingress controller. Okay, that component gets used. Okay, so we'll see all these components in a detail. Okay, so first let's see how it is and how it works. Okay, so how to create a service, we'll first let's see that, and then we'll see what all the parameters or what all the attributes are here. Okay, we'll talk about all these attributes.
Rajendra, I want clarification here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go to the previous slide?
Mm-hmm.
So in that, I mean, regarding the second option, NodePort, and so I mean, allow external user traffic and load balancing. So in more NodePort means, I mean, we'll be accessing it via the Node IP, right?
Yes, that service will be, because our all the nodes will be available outside, means available externally, right? We can directly access your node. So what we are doing is we are just binding our application container port to the node port, so that what I can do, I can just give that node IP colon the port that we exposed, and then your application will be accessible. Okay.
But how will be the load balancing happening if we are accessing only one node?
Okay, so this node port is a service. Okay, so now instead of giving that node IP, okay, we need to give the one, there is one option called external IPs. Okay, where you can take out any static IP from the any vendor, and then that static IP you can provide there, so that your application will be accessible. Now even though now your application is running on node 1 or node 2 or node 3 or whatever it is, this external IP, this service, this NodePort service will automatically divert your traffic from, if you get any request, first it will go to the service, and from the service it will forward it to the particular node. Okay, so we'll see that option, what is that option and how to set that option. Okay.
Yes, I mean, my question was, I mean, we are actually pointing to a single, I mean, node IP, but if the ports are, I mean, located in multiple nodes, then load balancing won't be happening. That was my clarification.
No, load balancing happens when you start that pod as a deployment where you have multiple replicas. Okay, so this load balancing will automatically, depending on the load, it will forward the request to any specific replica. So it will not care like where this particular pod is deployed, whether it's on node 1 or node 2 or node 3, because that particular application will be accessed as using ports. Okay, and not on the nodes, node IPs. Okay, so instead of node IP, we are going to give the external IP. Okay, which will be first that IP, and then that port will be mapped. Okay, on which particular node it is running, it won't matter. Okay, because now your application will be accessible through service. Okay, so you'll get more clarity when we see that exactly YAML file, how you are configuring. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now first let's see, create one simple application and then create a service, and then we'll more talk about what is this node port or cluster IP or the target port or port, and then how this service helping us to access that. Okay, but anyway, we are not going to show you that with the external IPs, because we need to buy that IP, then only we could see that. But where we can set that option and then how you can access it, that part we'll see it. Okay. Okay, so let me share that. Share. Okay. So first what we'll do, kubectl get pods. We have one pod running. So let me do one thing. Create first folder, service folder. Okay. Okay. So first what we'll do is, on the first week, I think we have created our own application, right? So if you see, the image name was UST, okay, and I created, if I do, let me do one thing. Let me start that pod. Okay, so how I'll start that pod? kubectl run my pod. Okay, what we need to do, we need to give the image. What is the image path? Rajendra IT 99/UST1. Okay, then hyphen dry run is equal to client hyphen o YAML then my pod dot YAML. Okay, so this got created. Now you can see that I give an image. Okay, on the first couple of session we have created this image, right? UST1, where we had one Flask application which was giving hello from the container world, something like this message what it was giving, right? So
Yes,
what I'm
yes.
doing now, let me just apply it. kubectl apply -f mypod.yam. Okay, so now the pod got created. Okay, you can see that now it's pulling the image. Let's wait for it to start. Okay, so now that pod is running, right? So if you just see the logs, how to see the logs of your pod, we have seen that kubectl logs. Okay, kubectl logs. You can give the pod name, that is my pod. Okay, if I run it, you can see that this is the log inside your pod application running inside the pod. You can see that we are starting one Flask application and you can see that this is the log. Okay, so the application is started, but now we don't have, right now we don't have the way to access that application. Okay, so if you want to access that application, we have seen there are three types of services: ClusterIP, NodeIP, and load balancer. Okay, so this ClusterIP, when to give the ClusterIP, when if you want to access that application only inside the cluster. Okay, so how you can do that? We have a short command called kubectl expose. Okay, so if you see the help of it, there are a lot of options available to set up, but what I want to do is I want to set up some very few options. Okay, here you will get a lot of commands. So if you see this command kubectl expose, here it is exposing the deployment. Okay, so ignore this. Here you are exposing the replica set, again that is ignore. Here you are exposing replica control, replication controller. Here you are exposing the service, that's not of our use. So here you can see that create expose pod. Okay, so here we are exposing the pod name, the port that we want to expose, and then the name of the service. Okay, so now let me use this. Okay, kubectl expose po my pod. I want to expose my pod. How I want to expose? The port where it was running, on which port it was running. I think it was running on 5000 if I remember correctly, and then the name of the service. Okay, name of the service I want to give is my service. Okay, so now if I run it, you can see that service, my service got exposed. Now if I do kubectl get services, for services it's a short name is svc. You can see that this my service got created by default. It gets created with cluster IP service, right? If you want to expose it outside the cluster, then you need to use the hyphen type as a NodePort. Okay, But if we don't provide, in that case, it will, by default, it will create a cluster IP service. Okay. So now, if you just go and see kubectl edit svc my service. Okay. If you see, come down here. Yeah, the important part we need to see here is this one. Okay, so this cluster IP is getting assigned automatically. We don't have to worry about it. The port, the protocol that we want to use, and the target port. Okay, so we are considering this application is running on 5000. We are mapping the pod port of 5000. So we still didn't expose it as a node port. So it is now, we are not binding it to the node port. Okay, so we are just making it available as a cluster IP. So it will be available inside the cluster itself. Okay. So now how to access this? Let me just try to access it with the cluster IP, inside the cluster itself. So how I can access kubectl get po -o void. So this my pod is running on this IP. So what I'll do, curl this IP, and then it is running on 5000, right? So if I try to access it, you can see that it is not accessible yet. So it's running on kind worker 2. So what is the IP of kind worker 2? kubectl get nodes -o wide. What is the IP of kind worker 2 is a 172.21.0.3. Okay. So what I'll do, curl that IP colon 5000. It will still not be able to access because we didn't bind it to the host port. Okay. So why it is not accessible to the node? Because it is only exposed as a cluster IP. Okay. So only it will be accessible inside a cluster. We are not inside the cluster. We are outside the cluster. We are accessing it from the our host machine. Okay. Inside the cluster means whatever the three system that we have. Okay. That Docker images which are running. Okay. We can access it inside out. Means we can go inside it and we can access it. But that is not the feasible way to access it. Okay. So what you can do, instead of exposing it as a cluster IP, you can expose it as a node port, and then you can see that we can access it through the node IP. Okay. If you want to access it via some static IP, in that case, inside service, we have one option called external IP. We can provide there and see that. Okay. But before that, let's expose this service as a node port service and then try to access it and see whether the application is accessible or not. Okay. So first what I'll do, let me first delete that service. Okay. Delete svc my service. Okay. That got deleted. Now what I'll do, expose my port name. If you see the help of export, there is one option called type, and that type is nothing but a node port type. Okay. So now if I run it, okay, I missed something. Let me see the help. There should be a one parameter called type attribute. Do you see somewhere here? Type. Customize label, name, output port. Guys, do you see this somewhere? Yeah, type is here, yeah, at the end. So the type is node port. So I was giving correctly, in fact. Okay, I should give hyphen type.
Hyphen type, right?
Yeah. Okay, let me delete that first, and now let me try. Okay, now it got created. kubectl get svc. Here you can see that now it got created with a node port, and here if you see closely, now it is giving node port, and automatically you can see that there is one port it is binding it with. It's a 31371. Okay, so this port is nothing but a node port. Okay, sorry, your node port. It is binding your application port with this particular port. So what you can do is you can just give the cluster IP and then this port, sorry, node IP and this port 31371. Okay, why it is not accessible from there? Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, node IP is reachable.
Port is 5000 only, right? You are sure, right?
That I want to make sure.
Because for me it is 8080, not sure. I think on that day we might have created in standard, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll just check in the Docker file. Yeah, it's 8080. Okay, do one thing. Let's quickly delete this service, expose it with 8080. Yeah, now it's got exposed. Now let me do the curl 31137.
32137. 32137.
Yeah, my bad. Yes, now. So 32137. Okay, so what has happened here? Let me show you that with the diagram first. Okay, so typically if you just go and see the YAML file of service, this type of YAML file you will see. Okay, so inside metadata is nothing but the name of that service. Then inside spec you have a type is equal to node port. So what this node port is saying, make the service available to the network request from external client. Okay, then selector is important. Okay, so selector is nothing but what it will do, select all the pods where app is equal to xyz. Okay, so that's key name. What happens when we create a pod, we give the label we give the label as app is equal to echo host name. Okay, and then this service is giving the selector query. Okay, so what it will do, select all the pods where key value is this, and then it will return all the pods, and then it will apply this service. Okay, so service will be at the top, and then according whatever the select query returning, what all the pods this select query is returning, it will apply this service on all the pods. Okay, so that is the reason if you have a multiple replicas of your application, one service can manage all these replicas. Okay, due to this selector part. Okay, and then inside ports we can give the three different types of ports. Okay, node port, if you see right now we didn't provided the node port. Okay, so that is the reason it will automatically take any random port more than 30,000 range. Okay, if instead of getting any random port, if you want to give any specific port, that also you can provide using this node port option. Okay, and then this port is nothing but this port is exposed internally. Mostly we this port and target port we keep same to avoid the confusion. This target port is nothing but the application where the port where our application is running. Okay, and then this port is nothing but the port that is exposed internally. Okay, When you expose your application as a node port, automatically that application will be available inside cluster as well. Okay. Now let me show you that. Okay, so first see the cluster IP, how it access. Okay, so this is your cluster. Okay, this is your cluster, and let's say inside that cluster 3 replica of your pod are running. Okay, three replicas of your pod are running. Okay, so what we can do, we can create the service for that. Okay, so for your first, when you are hitting any request for your application, that request first will come to the service. Okay, and then that service will forward that request to the not all the replicas, but it will load balance it automatically, and it will forward request to one by one pod. Okay, means let's say first request it will forward it to the pod 1, second request to pod 2, again for pod 1, again pod 3, something like this it will forward it. Okay, so this is how this cluster IP looks like. But if you see the node port, sorry, so node port is nothing but, first this is your cluster. Inside cluster we have a different VMs. Okay, VM1, VM2, VM3. Okay, and inside this VM these pods are running, pod 1, pod 2, pod 3. Okay, so first your traffic, okay, your traffic will come to the node port. Okay, from node port that traffic will go to the service. Okay, and then from that service it will forward it to the individual pods. Okay, any doubt here?
Rajendra, this VM stands for virtual machine.
Yes, yes. That is your actual node where which are the parts of your cluster.
So, I mean, when we are specifying a port number, I mean, it will be available or accessible on all the nodes, not just on the node we are actually deployed, right? As
Yeah,
per this
that
diagram.
in case of a node port. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because we will see that next example we'll see. Because what happens when you create a replicas, okay, there are high chances that your one replica is running on node 1, one is on node 2, one is on node 3, something like this, right? So that is the reason when we create a node port service, it will map all the ports of all the nodes. Okay, not all the ports, that specific node port will be of the all the nodes. Okay, getting it, or it's still confusing?
Rajendra, one doubt.
Yes.
Like VM in terms of like our local host, right? Because the cluster is set up in the server, right?
No, you can consider that this VM is nothing but a kind worker 1, this is kind worker 2, this is kind worker 3.
Okay, like the nodes.
Yeah, like the nodes here.
Okay.
But still, those are comes under cluster only, right?
Yes, those are coming under.
But this diagram is not showing like that, right?
No, here if you see this service, don't worry about whether this pod is on the kind worker 1 or kind worker 2 or kind worker 3. It has, it will not differentiate this way. Okay, it will have a pod details. It will have, this service will have the, automatically this service will get the information of the all the pods. It will not worry whether this is running on the kind worker 1 or 2 or anywhere else. It will have a directly access for the pod. Okay, so that is the reason we have shown it outside the means just to avoid the confusion. Okay, means not confusion, but to manage the space well. But if you want to if you want to see clearly, what you can do is simply take this pod box and put this inside the VM. Okay, this pod will be this inside this first VM, this pod to be inside the second VM, and
Yeah,
this is
got it, Rajendra.
okay. Okay. Okay, clear about the node port. So what I want you guys to do is now first try this, whatever the application, first application that we have created, and create a service and try to access that application. Okay, and then next thing what we'll do is now next thing we'll create is we'll create a deployment, we'll create a replicas, and then we'll expose those all the replicas with the help of service. Okay, and then after that we'll see how external IP we can provide. Okay, we'll not have that IP, but how to provide that and how to access that, we'll see that. Okay, so before starting that, what we'll do is let's have a quick break, and then after that break we'll try this couple of example, and then we'll see the test result as well. I didn't receive yet, but we'll see, we'll get it. Okay, so let's come back by 9:15 and we'll continue from that. Okay.
Sure, Rajendra. Thank you. 9:15, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I'm just putting myself on mute.
Sure.
Okay, can we start?
Yes. Yeah. So Rajendra, ping you the error message when I'm trying to create that, right? So I'm getting that error.
Okay, okay. So you pasted that error, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you are trying to do, kubectl run my pod image is fine, dry run true. Okay, so looks like this YAML got created. Can you just check? It's just giving the deprecated warning.
Yeah, YAML is there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. YAML is there. So I have this entry in. Okay, let me share my screen real quick.
Okay, okay.
Till that we are waiting for others.
Okay, okay.
So I'm not able to share. It says
Okay, okay.
you
I
cannot
shared
start.
it. Let me stop it. Yeah, now try it.
Okay. So when I'm checking, right, so I can see this one.
Okay, that deployment got created, right? kubectl run my pod image. So do one thing, add one more flag there, hyphen restart is equal to never. No, it should be before dry run. So looks like when you have created this kind cluster, the image that got used is something different. Restart is equal to never, n capital. Try now. See the YAML now. Yeah, this time you can see that it got created as a pod.
Okay.
So why this is happening? Because just before this 1.15, okay, 1.15 version of Kubernetes, this kubectl run was implemented this way. Means if you want to create a pod, then you need to give this hyphen restart option. Okay, but with
Okay.
1.16 or 1.17, they means we don't need to provide this restart option. Okay, what they have done is to create a empty pod, this pod using dry run, you just need to give the kubectl run command and then image name. Okay, and then if you want to create a deployment or this job, then they have given that option with the create command, kubectl create. So it is always better to create use this create command itself, because anyway after 1.16 or 1.15 they have removed this restart option from there with the run command. Okay,
Okay.
so either use create command to create the deployment, or you can use this old option that you used without a restart. That deployment means the same command, kubectl run my pod image xyz. If you give the restart is equal to never, your pod will be created. If you give restart is equal to always, your deployment will be created. If you give restart is equal to on failure, your job will be created. Okay, so I'll
Oh,
show you all these differences at the end. But with
okay.
this latest changes,
So can we just
pod option.
upgrade that version, or it's not possible?
Sorry.
No, can we upgrade the version of this cluster, whatever I have created? Or the
Do one thing. Do Docker PS. Okay, so the image that you are using is kindest node version v1.18.2, and the version that we are using is, it should be same, I think, kubectl docker ps. Okay, we are also using kind est node version 1.18.2. Okay, so if you want to use the latest one, if you just see the kind config file, there are a lot of other options as well we can provide. Like if you want to, by default we are using this kindnet CNI plugin. If you want to use any other like Calico, Flannel, then we can add some extra options as well in the config file. I'll share that detailed config file where you can put the this image version as well. This version, instead of version 1.18.2, you can add some specific version as well there. Okay.
Oh, okay. So after adding that will be fine, right?
Yes. If you just change that, because if you see this, we are using ready-made cluster, right? Ready-made, all the nodes we are using ready-made, right? So by default you are using this version 1.18.2. Okay. If you want to
Okay.
change that version, we need to specify that in the config file of the cluster.
Okay. So now my YAML got created. What I have to do now?
You need to add some specific version. I'll share that what should be the exact version.
Okay.
Just give me
No,
one minute.
I'm asking here. So here, what should I add here now? Or
Your screen got still shared, or I think I lost
yeah,
it.
I'm still sharing.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay,
So
so
in
now
metadata, I
your
have to.
pod got created. Okay. Now you just create the pod. That's fine. Now don't do anything. Just apply this YAML. Then after creating the pod, now you need to create a service using expose command.
So I apply. Okay. Okay. Apply.
Yeah, your pod got created now.
So my pod. Okay. So it says ready 0 by 1.
Sorry, image pullback error. No, it's a container creating, right? What is the name of
Yeah.
it's a my pod, right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
maybe it's just pulling the image now. Yeah, it's running now. Now your pod is running. Now you need to create a YAML. Okay, sorry, not YAML, service. So what is the, on which particular port your application was running? It's 5000 or 8080.
I think 8080. How can we check that?
You have to see. We have created Docker file, right? If you remember.
Yeah. So that I have created in the EC2 server, but this is in local server. So
Yeah,
So
that's fine. You
here.
must. Okay, yeah. Here you can check it.
Okay. So where can I see? So I was trying to see, but
Okay, Docker file. Check the builds. I think we didn't posted that here. So do one thing. You started the container, right? Go inside that container. How to go? kubectl exec command.
okay, yeah.
Or do simply do one thing. kubectl logs gs
Logs.
logs my pod. Yeah, enter. Here you will see that it is running on, what is the 000 dot
8080 port.
8080. Yeah, it's running on that port. So now do kubectl expose
Okay.
pod expose pod give your pod name, my pod. Okay, now give the hyphen type is equal to NodePort, capital NODEPOD, port, NodePort space hyphen port is equal to 8080. Okay, hyphen name is equal to my service. Yeah, that's it. Service got exposed. Now if we do kubectl get svc or service, you'll see that your port is running on 30114. Okay. So now just check on which particular node your pod is running.
Okay, so
kubectl get pods hyphen -o. So you can see that it is running on kind worker 2. So do kubectl get nodes and see the IP of the kind worker 2.
kubectl get node
Nodes hyphen -o. So this hyphen -o will give the more information about that. So here you can see that your node kind worker 2 running on 0.3. So curl that 172.18.0.3 colon that port, not 8080, it should be
yeah, so it should
31
be
something like that, right? 30114.
where it is.
Yeah,
30114. 30114.
no, something is not right. Are you sure it's a 8080?
8080.
It is 8080. It should be. Why it is not giving?
114. 30114.
No, I don't think anything wrong here. Guys, anybody else tried this? Are you getting this same problem?
Port exposing you're asking, Rajendra?
Okay, so did you created a service for your pod?
For
Yeah.
me? Okay.
I followed the same steps you did. That's what.
Is it running with you?
Yeah.
Okay, what we missed here? I don't think we missed anything.
Failed to connect, present timed out.
Okay, just give me a minute.
30114.
It's running on kind worker 2. IP of the kind worker is 0.3.
So what is this error we are getting? Image pull back off and it's not running.
So you have created one deployment. Okay, if you do kubectl get deploy. So you can see that there is one deployment, my pod deployment you created. And then inside that my deployment, you have that this pod got created, but due to some reason, maybe that image is not getting properly pulled. That's why if you just describe that pod, you will see that error like this image is not available or something like that. So what you can do, simply delete this deployment, kubectl delete deploy my pod. Yeah, now you can see that that pod also got deleted. If you do kubectl get pods, yeah, only your running pod is there. Okay, so why it is not running? Try once again. It's running on kind worker 2.
So now it's giving, okay, IP is different.
It's not IP, it's IP of the pod. We need to give the node IP, which is 172.18.0.3 is correct one. So why it is not giving? Guys, anybody else is facing this problem? Do one thing. You just delete the pod, delete the service, and try fresh.
Okay, actually it's not cancelling.
Control C.
Okay, so K delete PO. So Q, okay.
Pod got deleted. Yeah. Do kubectl get SVC?
So okay. Okay, so it got deleted now. So it's saying my service is running on 10.1. This one.
Okay, 3.1.30.1.1.4. Okay, you just delete this service as well. Then freshly create pod and then create a service. So delete this kubectl, delete SVC, my service.
Okay.
Now,
So again, do I need to create a pod?
yes. So you can use that YAML. You must have already a YAML. mypod.yaml or something like that.
Do I need to edit that YAML file? No, right?
No, just show me that what is there. No need to edit, everything is there. Okay, so simply just kubectl apply that YAML.
Oh, -f.
Okay,
Okay,
now pod
and
is
then
created. Now use that expose command. You can do Control R and expose, search expose. We'll get that expose command ready.
Control R.
Rajendra, one question regarding this. Yeah, using the image Vikas font that is not available, right?
Sorry.
So in this case, Vikas is using an image from the Docker repository, Docker Hub, right? But that is not available there, right?
No, that image is available. That's why our pod is in a running state, right? Otherwise, if image is not there, it will give image pullback error or something like that.
Okay. But when Vikas showed his Docker Hub, there is no images there, right?
No, it was there, but see, image is there. This one.
Okay.
You're using UST1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Now go back there. Expose PO my pod node port. Yeah, use that command, expose command.
Okay, Control R.
Yeah.
Then?
Yes. Run it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now do kubectl get SVC. Okay, now check on which node that pod is running.
Get node.
No, do kubectl get pods first. -void.
Okay.
It's again
It's
running
running
on
on
kind
kind
worker
worker
2.
too.
Now get the kind worker 2 IP. It's 172.18.0.3. Curl. Maybe you can just control R and curl. Yeah, just change that last 31492.
314. Nope, it's having some problem.
No, I think something is blocking this because ideally it should not get this problem. Maybe you check your file. You have installed it on your local machine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then looks do one thing. Ping this IP 172.18.0.3.
So it's not
Yeah,
pinging.
this is the problem. I think it's not able to reach this.
So, but this.
This IP should be reachable. If you see my system, okay, this IP is reachable from here. Ideally it should, but looks like your firewall or something is blocking, is not able to reach to this IP.
Okay. So actually I installed Docker desktop on my local. So do I need to change anything or maybe I can check later if you are.
Yes. Here if you see my system, if I do
Yeah.
kubectl get nodes, okay, and if I just ping it, okay, first let me do -o wide, okay, and if I just ping this IP, you can see that all the
Yeah.
IPs are reachable. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the reason we can do this, but somehow something is blocking from your system to reach to that IP. That is the reason you are not able to do this call. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll try to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So guys, anybody else is facing any problem while exposing your service and accessing your application?
Rajendra, I'm facing issues while accessing the application. I got the service, I mean, application up and running and also service created, but when I try with the port number 30246 that was assigned, I'm not getting it or unable to access it.
Okay. Can you share your screen quickly?
Yep. Can
Okay, your pod is running or
yeah, pod is running. Let me show.
okay. Okay, so pod is running on kind worker 2. Okay. Service is also running. So you created service in the Anish namespace or somewhere else?
In general, because I mean, it doesn't need to be in service. I mean, service doesn't need to be in same namespace, right? I mean, it's global to the node, right?
No, it's not global to the node. If you see, just do kubectl API resources and do this. We have seen in the morning, right? It's a namespace. Services is
This was a command I used to, I mean, for the
do kubectl API resources. API resources. And then hyphen namespace is equal to true. Here you can see that there is a services, right? Services SVC and true. It's true. Namespace is equal to true. So this is it should be inside the namespace. So what is happening here? Your service is inside the default namespace and your pod is inside the Anish namespace.
So how to check it? I mean, kubectl API hyphen resources name by
Yeah,
namespace equal to
CED namespaced. That flag is
okay,
namespaced.
namespace, right?
CED equal to true.
CED equal to true.
Namespaced.
Can you
Equal to
update
true.
in?
Yeah. Yeah, run it. Grapes SVC. You can do, yeah. Grape SVC. Yeah, here you can see that this is true, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that means your services should be inside in the namespace. Okay, so what you can do while creating service, give your namespace as Anish. What is the name of your service?
UST service.
Do get SVC and see the name.
Services only, right? Services only, right? The name? No, right? Okay.
So name is
My
my
service.
service. And even it's not my service, it's a my survive. Yeah, now it's got deleted. Yeah, now name.
Instead and on the top after metadata, I should be giving.
Yeah, namespace is equal to Anish.
Nothing else need to be updated, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now that is done. Now do get SVC first. And now try to access it.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, it's working now. Thank you, Rajendra.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else is facing any other issue? Okay, so I got the test result. Let me just see this and then we'll talk about the questions first. Okay, who all not started? Let me see first. Okay, Arun completed, Anish completed. Bhaskar Rao, are you there? You have not completed. Then Siva completed. Fauzan Ashraf not started. Vignesh not started. John given the test, but you are not able to clear the test. John, did you not understood any question or what happened?
Yes, Rajendra. Actually, I have. There are some confusions on that.
Okay, okay. We'll discuss the question. Not a problem.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Rakesh, fine, completed. Hari completed. Vinita not started. Sarvan Kumar not started. Jagdish not started. Nitin not started. Koteshwar Rao, okay. Saraf completed, okay. Sarath Kumar not started. Henson Joseph not started. Deepak not started. Ganesh completed. Sankar Dev completed. Nepu not started. Gopal Kumar not started. Keshav, okay, Keshav, I'll discuss the question, not a problem. Ragendu not started. Muthu Kumar not started. Shamili not started. Abhilash completed. Babita not started. Vikas, okay. Siva started. Gayatri completed. Abhilash not started. Kiran, Vishak, Kevin, Recast, Jemon Varghese not started. Okay, fine. So let me open the questions and then we'll talk about the questions. Because concepts are very important, we have to be very much clear on that. Okay, so the first question that we had is dash dash runs on each node and ensures containers are running in pod. Okay.
You're not sharing your screen.
Okay. So let me. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, Rajendra.
So first question was a dash dash runs on each node and ensures containers are running in a pod. Okay. So who is taking care of that? Pod scheduler, etcd are not there. So kubelet is the
Right?
answer. Okay. So anybody has a doubt here?
Okay.
Because kubelet is the captain on the node. Okay. So he is the one who is taking care of all the health checks on the node and it is reporting that to the master node. Okay. Now the next one is dash dash manages the assigning nodes to pods depending on resource availability. So who is doing that?
Is it scheduler?
Right.
Okay.
So answer is the C. Okay. Any doubt here? Anybody has any doubt on this question?
One doubt, Rajendra. Here in this, I mean, it's done in this by the, I mean, assigning nodes is done by the scheduler itself. But I mean, scheduler is running on the master node only, right? But in the nodes, I mean, it is, I mean, actually handled by kubectl, right?
No, no, no. kubectl is just if you remember the background flow what we have seen in the maybe in a first or second week, where what was happening,
Not,
kubectl.
I mean, kubectl. My mistake. I thought, I mean, it was cubes. I mean, kubelet. I
No,
mean,
no, no.
in node also, I mean, it's not kubelet because I mean, scheduler is not running in nodes, right?
Yeah, but assigning node on which node pod should be running, that is done by scheduler. Because what happens when we give the YAML file to the API server will, after every all this authentication, authorization, admission, control, it will uh, put that in the kube scheduler queue. Okay, and now then kube scheduler see that there is no node assigned to this particular pod, so then it will apply the algorithm, it will choose the best node for it, and it will assign that node to the particular pod. Okay, so this is done by scheduler and not the kubelet or kubectl. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Now the third question we have is, as soon as service starts, dash dash daemon running on each node, add a set of environment variables on the pod for each active service. So
Yeah,
here,
so Rajendra, sorry to interrupt. So what is the use of FLAN ID?
okay, so Planel is a CNI plugin, container networking interface. Calico, Planel, ViewNet, this CubeNet. There are a lot of CNI plugins. If you remember the networking part that we have discussed, there we have listed all these plugins.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so the third one is dash that daemon running on each node, add a set of environment variable on the pod for each active service. So who is doing that? Kubelet. Okay. As soon as service start, dash dash daemon running on each node. Okay, who is running and who is taking care of all this, setting up the service and all, is the kubelet. Okay, so
So
B was the
what
answer.
exactly the kubectl will do? Kubectl is only for running the commands only, Rajendra?
Yeah,
Apart from that,
kubectl is just a CLI interface through which we can reach to the API server. Okay, and it will also do this YAML validation at the client side. Okay, this kubectl is just a one CLI client through which we can interact with the API server. Okay.
okay, apart from that, nothing, everything kubelet will take care of. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Apart from it is not doing anything. Just try to remember this deployment under the hood. What we have seen in the second week of the session, where we have seen all the flow, how it works when we get any YAML, how it goes through all the layers of all these components. Okay, so kubectl is just a CLI. First we pass this YAML to CLI. kubectl do the validation, client side validation, and it will pass that request to the API server. Okay. Apart from that, it is not doing anything. Okay. So the fourth question is, replication controller and deployment controller are part of. What is the part is, we have two confusing option, is the API controller manager and master controller manager. Okay, so the answer is master controller manager. Why so? Because API controller, this, even though on the master node we have a API server, etcd, controller manager. Okay, so this C is the correct option. There is no component something like API controller manager. Okay, but we have a component master controller manager. Okay, so that is the reason C is the option. Okay. Clear? Any doubt here?
Rajendra, what else master controller manager will do?
What else?
I mean, apart from the replication and deployment in this question, what else master controller will be responsible?
Okay. So in the master controller, we have all the controllers like replication controller, deployment controller, pod controller, node controller, daemon set controller, stateful set controller. Whatever the component we have, for every component, there is a controller which is sitting on the master controller manager. Okay.
Okay, Rajendra.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is dash dash is a special namespace that is used for special purposes like bootstrapping a cluster. Okay, so if you just see all the cluster related, all this cluster related pods are under kube system, right? So that is the reason we have this namespace. Okay, so that was the answer, kube system. Okay, is a special namespace that is used for special purposes like bootstrapping a cluster. Okay, so whatever the cluster related components were there, which are there in the kube system, right? If you see on your system as well, all the components of cluster are inside the kube system. Okay, so any doubt in this question?
Rajendra, could you explain what is this bootstrapping?
Bootstrapping means it's starting your cluster, right? So all the cluster related components are where, on which namespaces are those components are there? Those are inside the kube system. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In our this client cluster as well, if you see, all the system related components are there inside this kube system namespace, right? Clear?
Clear, Rajendra.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the use of other namespaces like kube private, kube public, and default?
Okay, so default, if you see this, they have given one namespace where if we don't create any namespace, all the pods that we are going to create will be created inside the default namespace. Okay, and then this kube private is again they have given, if you want to create any specific pods which are private to that, you can create inside that kube private. Okay, so as discussed, if you want to isolate some pod for some specific purpose, in that case you can create a namespace and put that pod inside it. Okay, so this again, it is something like we are creating for development, we are creating pod for development, creating pod for testing or staging or a production. So just create the namespace and put all these pods inside it. Okay, so these are some default namespace, public, private. Okay, according to your use you can use those, but if you see, there is no specific meaning, specific usage of those pods. You can use it for your purpose as well. Okay, if you go inside it and you see, there will not be any other component created inside it. Okay, but if you want to create it, you can use these namespaces and create it. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, this one is easy one. Kubernetes is written in Golang, right? So option is B. Now, abstraction in Kubernetes, which defines a logical set of pods and a policy to access them, is a service. Okay, as this is discussed in fact today. Even if I remember, we discussed it some in the second or third week as well, right? So this question might be confusing, but today we have discussed it, right? If you want to logically group up components, all the pods, and if you want to access them, then to access them, we create a service, right? Clear? Any doubt here?
No, Rajendra, it's clear.
Okay, the command to create a Kubernetes service is that we have seen today, kubectl expose. So that's fine if you get this wrong, but now you can remember it, right? To create a service, we have a command kubectl expose. Okay. Okay, which of the following KTS resources do not associate with any namespace? Okay, so that also we discussed. So which one is here? If you just do this kubectl API resources hyphen namespace is equal to true, you'll see that what all the components, kubectl namespace is equal to false. There you'll see that what all the components which are not there inside the namespace. Okay. So in fact, here we have two options, but only one was given. But if you see, persistent volume as well not comes under any namespace. Okay. If you just go and see there, API resources, I think persistent volume is also not there. Let me have a look. kubectl API resources.
Yeah, that's true. Persistent volumes are not comes under.
Namespace is equal to false. Yeah, persistent volumes are not part of. Okay. If you give B and D option, that's fine. Here all other daemon set, replica set and resources are part of namespaces. Okay.
Yeah, so there was a radio button, so we can't select two options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Even if you get it wrong, that's fine. But now remember that persistent volume and nodes are not coming under any namespace. Okay.
Yep.
So service will come under namespace?
Yes. Services is under namespace. Just now, I think we have seen for someone, right?
Okay. My bad. Okay.
Yeah. So why we are taking this exam is
Rajendra, one clarification regarding the 9. So we have the diamond set, which deployments or pods. That is, actually where it will be deployed. Those pods will be deployed whenever there is a new node is actually added. So that doesn't comes under any of the namespaces, right?
No. If you see, this daemon set comes under a system namespace. Okay, cube system namespace. Because this is a system component, we have to create inside the cube system namespace. Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought daemon set is not part of any of the namespaces.
No. So for that, you need to use this API resources hyphen namespace command. Here you will see all the list of resources which are not coming inside the, not coming as a part of the namespace or coming as a part of namespace. Okay.
Rajendra, what is the command? Hyphen namespace is equal to false or what?
Namespace is equal to, if you do true, then it will list out all the components which are coming inside namespaces. If you do false, it will list out all the components which are not part of any of the namespace.
Rajendra, can you share it on the chat?
Okay. Let me share the commands. So you just need to change the namespace is equal to true or false. Okay. kubectl API resources namespace is equal to true or false. Okay, you can give it. So I shared it. Okay, so the last question is dash is responsible for health check of the pods running on individual nodes. Okay, so we know that this kubelet is the component which is checking care of the health checking of your pod and reporting it back to the API server. Okay, clear? Any doubt here?
It's clear, Rajendra.
Okay, so any other doubt, guys? Whatever we have covered today. So next week we'll continue with the services and then we'll start with the deployment. Okay.
So services, will we be doing that public IP and all, or?
Not public IP because the again cost comes with that. But
Okay.
we'll see how we can put that this public IP, where to put inside the services, because inside services we have a lot of other options as well, how to use that. Then how, when we use the load balancer as the option, how this that in fact we'll see when we see the when we create a multiple replicas, and we'll see that with the load balancer how these requests are getting diverted to the different replicas. We'll see that. Okay.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Hi Rajendra, Hari here.
Yeah,
Is it possible to share the commands and examples so that we can practice? During the session time, we cannot try that because I was connected to client VPN. So is it possible to share that?
Okay. I'll do one thing. Okay, I'll share around say 40-50 commands, where you will get all whatever we have covered till now. All the commands will be covered inside that 40-50 commands. Okay. In fact, those are questions. Okay, questions as well as answers I'll share. I'm expecting everybody to try all this example, and whatever the command till now we have tried, all the commands will be covered inside that 50 question. Okay.
Rajendra, one more clarification here. So, I mean, in one of my earlier projects, we were using we were using namespaces with quota setup. So, would that be covering this during this session?
Yes, we have one resource quota object that we are going to cover it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Because since namespace was quickly taken over, so I thought whether it was part of that or it's going to come later.
No, that resource quota we'll see it separately. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
But that's a small part that we even when from the command prompt as well we can do this. Okay, how we can create resource quota, we'll see that. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I'll share then all these questions.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, fine then. Chalo, bye.
Thanks a lot, Rajendra.
Thank you,
for your help.
Rajendra.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you, Rajendra.
Thanks, Rajendra.